All right, I am selling my iMac, and it's for one huge reason. I mean, one small reason, and that's the M4 Mac Mini. Yeah. All right, so we are selling the M1 iMac today. I've had this iMac since day one. I am a little bit heartbroken because I had this on day one and it helped me when I started my YouTube journey. It helped me with school, it helped me with a lot of stuff. But it's time to let it go and move on to the M4 series. It doesn't have enough RAM for the Apple Intelligence features. It doesn't have enough power because it's the base M1 iMac. There is a lot to be fixed when it comes to the M1 iMac. Let's reset the computer, put it back in the box, and then we can go to the Apple Store. All right, okay. The iMac case is a little bit dusty, but we have it. All right, here we go. I haven't, look, it's been such a long time, but I still haven't used the USB C to lightning cable that came with the iMac. So whoever's buying this will be very happy to see that it has been unused. All right, so let's put that back in there. Oh, we do have stickers. Maybe I might keep this. All right, so the Mac Mini has been purchased alongside with the Magic Keyboard with USB-C, Magic Mouse with USB-C as well, so that's a welcome change. We have the computer, the keyboard, and the mouse, but no replacement for the monitor. And the reason for that is because this is going to be my monitor. I'm going to use the Apple Vision Pro alongside with the Mac Mini without using a traditional monitor. I've seen this setup online. People say it's a very good travel setup because the Mac Mini is pretty small and this is pretty portable. People say it's the best minimalistic setup because all you need is the Mac Mini and the Vision Pro. But is it actually good? So that's really what I want to test. So yeah, just the Mac Mini, the keyboard, and the mouse with the Apple Vision Pro is going to be my setup for the time being, and I'm going to review it. I'm going to see how it actually works. How well does the Mac Mini and the Apple Vision Pro work together? And how well does the M4 chip really do with the editing, the power hungry, even maybe gaming? Could test out some gaming with the Mac Mini. So yeah, that's going to be my setup. The Apple Vision Pro and the M4 Mac Mini. So let's test it out. All right, so obviously you do need a monitor to actually set up the Mac Mini, which I will use, but after the Mac Mini is set up, we won't be using the monitor. So this is the Mac Mini. It's pretty small, but a little bit bigger than I thought it was gonna be. I don't know, it's my first Mac Mini, so I've never had one before, but it's a little bit larger than I thought it was gonna be, but hey, it's actually pretty compact, pretty sleek, pretty nice looking. The infamous power button at the bottom, the ports, so we have the power, Ethernet, HDMI, Thunderbolt, and USB-C. We have two USB-Cs, headphone jack, Apple logo. So yeah, very, very minimalistic, very easy to understand. And yeah, actually, I think it's a very nice design. You guys let me know what you think. It is pretty small if you're gonna compare it to other products, but in a sense, it is a little bit larger than I thought. But with a minimalistic setup, if this is all you need, then this will not actually hurt your space at all. This can be very easily tucked away and put into a small space. As long as you have the power, that's all that matters. You do have some space in the back or at the bottom for vents, so for the cooling. I don't know how efficient the M4 is or how well it disperses heat, but we'll test that out. We're gonna bring this to its knees. I'm gonna play a lot of games with this, do a lot of editing and testing with this. So yeah, let's set it up. All right, so I just wanted to show you guys real quick how the Apple Vision Pro and the Mac Mini setup actually is. So as you can see, that is the Mac Mini, and I'm currently using the Apple Vision Pro. So yeah, you have the virtual display just like you would on a MacBook. This is the standard screen. So if you look here, you have standard, wide, and ultra wide. But right now we're currently at standard, and standard is actually pretty cool just by itself, because yes, it is the normal way you would use your Apple Vision Pro or your Mac Mini virtual display, but you can still resize it, and it does have some curvature to it. So the fact that you can resize it and have a nice curvature is actually pretty cool, because some people actually just want the curvature. So that's actually pretty cool. I like it a lot. Obviously, the standard display is not the best. The one I personally think is the best is the wide display. So if we go on the wide display, we have a lot more space that you guys will be able to see. Alright, so now that we're on the wide display, you guys can see that we have a lot more space. And thanks to the new Mac update, you can easily just snap some windows on the corner here and have it just be really intuitive, because right now the apps are all stacked in corners and sides, but they're still huge. So I can still use these windows the way I would usually use them without any problems. And the cool part is that I can still resize it. So if I want it to be huge, I can make it bigger. If I want it to be smaller, I can make it smaller. It's amazing. This is my personal favorite screen, the wide screen, but a lot of people might like the standard or ultra, but for me, the wide is the one I'll probably use on a daily basis. Obviously, you will have to make sure that everything makes sense, because if it's too big for me, then it won't be very useful. I'll have to turn my head too many times. But like this, it's actually pretty amazing. You won't find any monitor that is this wide in real life. So the Apple Vision Pro does the perfect job. You have the perfect monitor with the Apple Vision Pro. But you can also go into environments. So for example, if I want to go to an environment and have this be huge, I can make it huge. The only thing is you won't see your Mac, but you will see your keyboard. The cool part is that it's actually tracking the keyboard. So no matter where I go, it will actually, well, not under the screen, but no matter where I go, it will track the keyboard so I can see what I'm actually looking at. And that is pretty cool. But yeah, having the immersiveness makes it amazing, because you can have the biggest screen and you can do what you need to do just like this. It's not really, you will not find any monitor that can do this. So the Apple Vision Pro being able to do this at high resolution, keyword high resolution. This is 4K resolution or 1440p or something like that. I think it is 4K. 4K resolution. So the fact that I can do this at high resolution so seamlessly makes this combination very nice. But another thing, there's a third screen that you can use, which is the ultra wide screen. So we went from standard to wide to now the ultra wide. I don't really use the ultra wide that much, but I do use it for one specific use case. That is for editing. All right, so as you can see, the ultra wide is very, very wide. It can get a little bit wider as well, but you won't really want to use it like this, because I guess things are just way too huge. But the reason I would love to use it like this is for the editing. So as you guys can see, everything is on one corner, but I can max it out and have a whole timeline just like this. So this whole timeline makes it very easy to edit, especially if I zoom out a little bit as well. I can have more clips into one frame. If I don't want to turn my head too much, I can resize it and still have a long timeline. So the ultra wide is very useful for when I want to edit. I wouldn't use it on a daily because I feel like it's just a little bit too wide, but when editing, it's actually very nice. And I know it's kind of trippy because you guys are watching the video that I'm editing right now, but bear with me. The editing portion of the Apple Vision Pro and the Mac Mini just makes it a no-brainer. The fact that I can have all my clips ready, I don't have to zoom out, I don't have to have that clunkiness of doing all that thing.
doing it like this is the only way I would edit right now. So every time I have my MacBook, I'm gonna put my Apple Vision Pro on just so I can edit. But for now, we're gonna be editing on the M4 Mac Mini, and I will be doing a full review talking about the performance and all that. But so for my first impressions with the Mac display and all that, it's very nice. I mean, we do have the standard, wide, ultra wide. You can't see your keyboard, so it does disappear if you don't look at it. But then when you start looking at it or get closer, that's where it is. It's there for you. You're ready to use it. You can see what you're doing. That was one of my complaints at first when I started using the Mac Virtual Display early on in the Apple Vision Pro life cycle. But this update is very nice, especially with the fact that Mac can finally snap apps to the side and corners. Makes it a lot better, because the fact that we have a wider screen, if these apps were not able to be snapped, it would have been a lot more clunky. You would have seen apps look a little more like this all around, overlapping each other, and it wouldn't be as nice, or there would be a lot of wasted space. So the fact that we can have it snap very easily is very nice. It makes it very intuitive. It really feels like this is how you're supposed to use your Mac.
So yeah, if you go back to the regular scenes or regular life, you can use it like it was a traditional computer. And I think that's how a lot of people would use this setup. Because yeah, you can be in an environment, but if you're being distracted, it's probably the only time that you would go in an environment. But most part, you would want to be in real life. You would want to stay in your own real environment so you can see everything else, smell the fake flowers, I don't know, play with your HomePod, play with your phone. So yeah, this is probably the best way to use it. But again, this is just the first impressions. I will be doing a full review very, very soon. But let me know what you think of how this setup actually is. If it's cool, if it's useless, if it's better than the traditional way, let me know. All right, so this video is really gonna be my first impressions, because I just booted it up. It's updating right now, but I booted it up, used it a little bit, and I have a few thoughts regarding the Mac Mini and Apple Vision Pro setup. It's actually pretty cool. As you can see, the setup is very minimal, and you actually get to use your computer the same way you would use it, but better. The bigger screen, the wider screen, you can change environments thanks to the Apple Vision Pro, or you can stay in your real environment thanks to the Apple Vision Pro. And you're using your computer just like you would use it normally, but it leaves more room on your desk and it just feels more free. And also the fact that you don't have a physical monitor makes it possible to really move your monitor around or move the screen around. I could sit down on my bed and have the computer stay here while I'm on my bed. With the iMac, I couldn't do that before, but with the Mac Mini, you can do that. But there are some concerns with the Mac Mini and Apple Vision Pro setup. First things first, you cannot have a passcode to log in every time, because the desktop Macs don't automatically connect or don't automatically prompt you to connect to your Apple Vision Pro like the MacBooks. You have to go in the menu and set it up. But your computer has to be logged in or unlocked. You have to unlock it. So if you don't have a monitor and you have to unlock your password every time, I mean, it could be easy if you have a password that you can remember, but without seeing the screen, you don't know if you're prompted to actually enter your password. You don't know what's on the screen. So you're really gonna have to unlock the setting that allows you to enter a code and just have it automatically log into your account. I mentioned briefly that you don't have the prompt to automatically connect the Apple Vision Pro to the Mac Mini. You do have to go through the setting. It takes a few seconds, so it's not a big deal, but it's not as seamless as the MacBooks. So that's a little bit of a concern. But other than that, so far with the hour that I've used the Mac Mini and the Apple Vision Pro, it's actually very nice. And I'm just excited to test it out more. I want to see how long I can really use it for. So I'm gonna make another video actually doing a full review, not only of the Mac Mini, but the combo of the Mac Mini and the Apple Vision Pro. So it's gonna be like a 2-in-1 video on my next video. So stay tuned for that, and let me know what you want to see in the full review of the Mac Mini, or what you want to see tested out with the Mac Mini and the Apple Vision Pro combination. So leave a comment down below or like the video if you want to see that. And don't forget to subscribe because yeah, I'm making these videos, I'm having fun, but if you want to join me and just join the journey, subscribe to the channel so we can keep doing our tech videos. So yeah, see you guys on another video. Peace.